End zone. There it is. Else could be.
Touching by number 68.
And the Lions will have to do it again. Well, you see, Dan
Decker reported. The Lions are taking on the Cowboys on Sunday at 4:25 p.m., and this Detroit team is out for revenge. It's unbelievable what has happened between these two teams in the past. Two of the worst calls of all time, and if anybody needed any reminding, the Cowboys haven't accomplished anything in over 25 years, and Dak Prescott only has 2 playoff victories. Getting to the game, there's a lot of interesting matchups. Number 1, CeeDee Lamb is most likely going to be covered by Carlton Davis III and Terrion Arnold. Aaron Glenn's defense has improved a lot recently. With the run defense, they're one of the best in the game. DJ Reader, Aiden Hutchinson, Ali McNeil up front. The secondary, though, is where they have struggled over the past few years, and this season is looking the strongest it ever has. I know Geno Smith threw for 395 yards last week. Terrion Arnold has had a few flags, and Carlton Davis had his flags last week in his matchup against DK Metcalf. But I think Terrion Arnold will be fine. He'll continue to get better week after week. He's still a rookie. And for Carlton Davis, last week was just odd. There were some bad calls, some good calls. It's always going to be physical against DK Metcalf. He's insane. But is this Lions defense going to be able to stop CeeDee Lamb? He's coming into the game, 41 targets, 25 receptions, 2 touchdowns. Last year, he had 227 yards and a touchdown against Detroit off 13 receptions, 17 targets. Can they stop him, or is CeeDee Lamb going to have another great game? The Lions defense plays a lot of man coverage. Aaron Glenn has been trying to do that for years. He finally can do it, as they have some strong corners and an even better pass rush. However, CeeDee Lamb is one of the best wide receivers against man coverage this season. My predictions with Lamb for this game, he'll probably score a touchdown. He's probably going to get a decent amount of receptions. I think the Cowboys will be throwing the ball a lot because they're going to be playing from behind. That's what Seattle did. Geno Smith threw the ball over 50 times, over 400 yards. But CeeDee Lamb's not going to have a career game like he did last year. This Lions secondary is a lot stronger. The pass rush, Aiden Hutchinson is having himself a year. And CeeDee Lamb is not going to be getting a 92-yard fluke touchdown when Derek Barnes misses a wide open Dak Prescott sack. I swear it's not just the refs the Lions have to watch out for when playing the Cowboys. Jerry Jones has control over everything, and I guarantee you he played a big role in making Derek Barnes fall there. Somehow, some way, I guarantee you that sick man was behind it. Continuing, the Lions' bye came at the perfect time. Everybody's back from injury except Derek Barnes is sadly out for the season. Frank Ragnow's back, even though the offensive line was stellar without him. Brian Branch is back. I feel like the Lions desperately needed him against that Seattle offense last week. Currently, the Cowboys are sitting at second place in their division. If they fall to 3-3, they'll still be looking at a playoff spot, but the title for the NFC East will be that much further. Dallas is coming off a narrow win on Sunday Night Football in Pittsburgh after the great storm delay. So far, their opponents, they barely beat the Giants, got blown out by the Saints, blown out by the Ravens, barely beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they destroyed Cleveland week 1. The Dallas Cowboys are notorious for beating up on bad teams, blowing them out, scoring a lot of points when they're already ahead, and losing dramatically to the good teams and then exiting the playoffs early. And you could make the case that's what they've done this season thus far. They beat the Browns. The Browns have a great defense, but there's zero offense. Deshaun Watson can't make a read to save his life. Terrible team. Lost to the Saints. That's a strong offense. The Ravens, that's a good team. Derrick Henry had no problem running all over them. They beat the Giants. The Giants aren't even a terrible team this year. They weren't able to blow them out like they usually do. And then they beat the Steelers, whose offense struggles. Now the Cowboys have a test coming up. The Lions, 49ers, which aren't really a top team anymore. The Falcons, Eagles, Texans, Commanders. I honestly believe the Cowboys are going to be praying for a playoff spot in an over 500 season. Now, hopefully I'm not getting ahead of myself. That's a pretty bold take to make. But if you look at their schedule, they also have to play the Commanders again. They have to play the Bengals, the Eagles twice, the Buccaneers. And to me, the NFC is a lot stronger than it was last year. The Bears are really good. Vikings are really good. Packers still have it. Saints, Falcons, Eagles, Giants are looking better. The 49ers aren't as good, but the Seahawks are still a top team. And a lot of that to me is from the Cowboys defense. They haven't been able to stop anything all year long. The Saints offense walked all over them. Derrick Henry powered his way up the middle, ran for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Even Daniel Jones and Malik Neighbors almost came back and beat the Cowboys. I say that because this is the most important factor of the game. The Cowboys defense is one of the worst against the rush. And the Lions offense is arguably one of the best, if not the best, in the NFL. They pride themselves with a run-heavy offense, control the game with a strong play action. And Jared Goff is coming off a perfect game against a strong Seattle defense. They were ranked top 3 before we played them. I know they lost to the Giants last week when the Lions had their bye, but that's just the Lions hangover. Any defense, any given week, the Seahawks defense is still very talented and strong. Gibbs had 78 yards off 14 carries, averaging 5.3 against the Seahawks. Monty had 40 yards off 12 carries. Everyone saw the perfect run he had, breaking 5 tackles. Nobody could take him down. David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs are just otherworldly. Montgomery's averaging 4 carry on the year. Gibbs is averaging 5. The only thing to worry about, I'd say, with the Lions offense is Jared Goff statistically does struggle under pressure, and Micah Parsons is one of the best in business, but he's probably not going to play, so that's good for the Lions. And also, Jared Goff and the Lions offense had no problem against Seattle with Frank Ragnow out. They're going to have him back. The Dallas Cowboy defense has given up 4.5 yards per carry and averaging 128 rush yards per game allowed. I'd be really worried if I was a Cowboys fan because I don't know how that defense is going to stop a revenge-hungry Lions offense with David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jameson Williams coming off a monster 2-reception, 80-yard game with a touchdown. St. Brown is going to be out there. Laporta, both of them have been great. Both of their numbers haven't been as high this season, but I believe that's just because the Lions have so many weapons. And the one week they threw the ball way too many times against Tampa, they lost. They just had that run-heavy offense, and then play action works great for them. Like last week, Goff didn't miss a single throw, and then they've been so explosive this season with the long runs. Jameson Williams' long catches, most notably, most excitingly. I'm so excited for this game. I think the Lions are going to go out there and kill the Cowboys, honestly. It'll still be a good game, though. The Cowboys will probably score a few garbage time touchdowns. I'm not really too worried about the Cowboys offense. I think they'll be fine. Dowdle's been the feature back. I like him. He's been pretty good. Made a great catch in Pittsburgh in the rain in the end zone for a touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, I don't think he's going to be seeing the field much. If you can't tell already, I think the Lions are going to win this game and get revenge on the dirty Cowboys and Jerry Jones. I think Ferguson's probably going to have a big game. I think him and Lamb are going to receive a lot of targets, as I believe the Lions will go up early and the Cowboys are going to have to chase and throw the ball. But even though I'm excited for this game and I think the Lions will win, I'm still very nervous, and you never know what could happen. Any given Sunday, any team could win. I'm praying the Lions get revenge on the Cowboys this game. Every time I see the clips from last year, Decker reported, it just makes me mad. Doesn't it make you mad? I don't know. It just makes me rage. All I see is red whenever I see those clips. The game was one of my favorite from last year. I still count it as the Lions win. They went 13-4 last year. You can't tell me otherwise. And then the Lions went on to the NFC Championship game where the Cowboys lost first round at home, and not just lost. They got blown out. That was embarrassing. But I just don't believe this Cowboys defense will be able to put up much of a fight against this Lions offense unless Goff has a bad game. But he's been hot right now. After he had the perfect one, he said in his post game, I just want to go back out there and play another game. He was feeling himself. Now they have a bye week. Probably not good for Goff's momentum, but good for the team getting some players back, getting some rest after just getting back into the season. Played 4 games, getting back into the routine. Would really be exciting to see J-Mo have another incredible catch against the Cowboys. Last year's, that was phenomenal. It was a really good one last season. I think we'll have another great game this year. Could be close. I'm hoping it's not. I think the Lions will win by 1 or 2 scores. My offensive player prediction for the Lions is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs. Looked really good last week, over 5 yards per carry. Montgomery had that one really good run, but wasn't as successful against the Seahawks. I think Gibbs is going to keep his foot on the gas pedal and accelerate through this Cowboys weak defense. If it wasn't Gibbs, I was going to pick St. Brown to have a great game. And then my defensive player of the game prediction for the Lions is going to be Aiden Hutchinson. I think he'll be great in the pass rush against Dak Prescott, as I said, and I keep saying I think they're going to be passing it a lot. The Lions' run defense really good. I know Dowdle's pretty good, but Dak Prescott and the Steelers struggled against Watt and the Steelers' defensive line. I think Hutchinson is going to have a field day. I got him for 3 sacks. Really hope the Lions win. I think they'll do it by at least a score, 7, but still nervous because it's the Cowboys, and you don't know what's going to happen with the refs. Fuck the Cowboys. Fuck the Packers for good measure. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about this game in the comment section below. And thanks for watching. Please, Lions defense, lock up CeeDee Lamb. I do not want to see that man run into the end zone at all.